man, what it is and what it ain't, man. It's your boy BL Ratchet back again, man. We are Florida Podcast, man, presented by Miss One Essentials, and we in here today with special co-hosts.
Yo, man, what's good, y'all boys? New Gotti checking in.
Just chilling. What's going on with you, New?
Man, I'm feeling good today.
That's
Good
what's
little
up, bro.
Thursday.
Most definitely. We back, man. We back.
Yes,
and we
sir.
got special guests on the couch with us today.
What's up, everybody? My name is Rare Phantom. I'm an alternative rock star from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm down here in Clearwater today, though.
Okay, then. For sure. You say Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Long ways away,
I was just about to say that, bro. I don't even know how many thousands of miles that away.
yeah, about 2,000.
That's northeast.
Yeah, it's far. Long
Yeah.
ways away, different weather, but it's nice to switch things up after a while. I was there my whole life.
So, like, bro, how I was growing up out there in Boston, though, because, you know, y'all got the Patriots, Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah, we get the sports teams. Sports teams were going crazy back
Boston
when I was
Red
growing up.
Sox, home of the champions, for real.
Yeah, seriously. When I was growing up, we had a bunch of teams just always winning, so I was used to that. But that's really all we had going on. Like, we had a lot of sports related things, not really many creative or musical related ventures going on. It's really cold out there. It's really quiet out there. Small, it's nice, but wasn't really too much going on besides like any of that really. Okay. But it was nice. I can't complain.
For sure. So, I mean, you lived there your whole life, or did you move around?
Yeah, I was there basically my whole life up until I came to Florida, which is about a year ago.
Okay. Mm-hmm. For sure. Most definitely. So how did you get into music? You know what I'm saying? Being in that city was like, you know, what was the first studio you hit up in? Stuff like that. How did you get into it?
So honestly, it was by chance. It was right when COVID started, actually. I didn't really have much going on. You know, everything was in lockdown. People weren't really doing too much. I had a friend who had a home studio. It wasn't like your average home studio, though. It was like this really crazy, like, he had all, like, the equipment, all the technology that you would need to make, like, a full-quality song. So we would just hang out in there, and eventually we just decided to mess around on the mic, and I decided to put some vocals just to see what it would sound like over an instrumental. Just like music that inspired me, I tried to emulate myself, and everybody hates like the way their voice sounds in like a video. So I just thought it's not going to sound good, like it's going to be cringe, I'm not going to like it. But when I heard it over the instrumental, my voice with some of the effects on it, I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And I just wanted to keep on doing it and see what I could do with my voice. So it just became like something that I was doing just to pass some time during COVID. I had nothing else going on, so I would just hang out in the studio. I get more comfortable with the process and learned how to write songs, learned how to record, learned like the light parts of the mixing and the mastering behind the scenes. And I just got familiar with more people in the industry around my area who were working out the studios, who were making music, who were filming videos. So I just kind of slowly trickled into it, but it wasn't really like a plan. It just kind of fell into place due to opportunity.
Okay.
That's what's up.
So what was you doing out before music? Like, what was you doing?
Honestly, before that, I had my little social media presence where I would just take some cool pictures, like aesthetics and stuff like that. I'd be out just like traveling, meeting new people, just going around all about. But I never really thought that like I was a musician like that until I gave it a shot. But everybody would always ask me, do you make music? Do you make music? And I didn't really see that for myself until I really tried it. And I wish I kind of took everybody's advice sooner and just gave it a shot, because I was just afraid that, again, it wouldn't sound good. But when you put your effort into something, you can make it sound good. So I was just kind of messing around with the idea of being a personality on the internet, just without the music, really. And the music was the last thing that brought it together for me. So I was just kind of around my local area. I was up all in New England, just traveling, meeting new people.
Were you going to like open mics and like different, you know, artist showcase and stuff like that?
It was more like house parties, like little events and functions like that.
Okay.
Where like people would like, I wouldn't say it's like open mic, but you know, you go to like a little house party, some people have like a mic, they have like stereo, people be singing and stuff like that. Just more like, some people do original music, cover music, just people having fun. So I would just like go into stuff like that. And they had little venues around Boston, like Middle East, and people would just go and hang out there. And I just like the environment and the community, and the people just really were into music. So I just kind of found myself in those crowds a lot, but it was really just an adventure for me, just to get out of my hometown, out of my own area. It's where I'm from. Like, a lot of people don't really leave town.
Yeah.
They just kind of stick to themselves. They stick to what they know. So I just wanted to venture out. I wanted to find something new. So I was always in search of something new, which again led me to trying out music because it was just something new to me.
For sure. So, to be doing everything that you just, listed to us and stuff like that, you got to have some type of confidence. Where your confidence coming from?
I think it's just delusion. I think everybody's confidence comes from delusion, to be honest. Like,
he knows the answer.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I feel like me just being propped up by people over the years just saying, like, oh, you look cool, you look different. Like, people just being intrigued and, like, asking me more about myself. It just came, I don't know what it was, if it was confidence, like I said, delusion, maybe it's one and the same. But it kind of just, like, sparked me into thinking, like, I could really just do whatever I want. Like, when you get the attention of the people, they expect you to do something with it. So I wanted to use that to go towards music. And like I said, I was doing, like, little fashion, like, blogs and stuff like that. But I don't know. That wasn't really what I wanted to do. I always had a passion in music, underground music, creating, like, something original. Okay. So that was just kind of always something that was a part of me. And it just kind of fit the most with me and what I was doing.
For sure. So, when you started making music and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to, actually know your direction. How did you know what kind of direction you was going to go in, like whether it was style, whether it was the beats you was choosing, whether it was, the people that you was trying to surround yourself with?
So, it's interesting because obviously it starts with the instrumental, with the sound, and I feel like when people say they don't like a specific type of music, I feel like deep down everybody does, like, wide variety of genres. So I'm not one to quick to say I'm not going to try this genre or this style. I like to just listen to instrumentals regardless, and whatever connects with my ear and whatever just sounds right is where it starts there. So I'll pick an instrumental regardless of genre, and whatever sounds right I'll end up just going with, and start with instrumental. You get the words, you write the song, which is like the story. And the way I do it is I just kind of hear the instrumental, and I feel like the words should be painted on the instrumental in a certain way, just how it works in my mind. So I just kind of go and I try it again, and I try it again. And I'll do it a couple times until it sounds cohesive and structural, and it just kind of flows and makes sense, but it's also catchy. So it's a lot of trial and error, and sometimes you pick an instrumental, you try something, it just doesn't really flow, it doesn't really work. But you kind of find over time by making song after song after song what works for you, what your style is. So I've tried all different types of genres, and I'm now an alternative rock star, so that's kind of where it ended up with me, but it didn't start there. So it was really just I started off like what was trendy at the time, what was working for people that I saw in, like, the mainstream. But I ended up just branching off and doing what was original to me over time. I wasn't really just trying to emulate what was going on, what was hot.
For sure. So you know how it's the internet nowadays, and they have a million critics and stuff like that. So did you ever have to deal with, people criticizing your music at first?
All the time. And even way before I started making music, there's always critics. There's always somebody who has something to say. And I've always been sort of outspoken. So where I'm from, again, it's a very small town. Not really too much going on. Not really too many people coming out of there. So for somebody to not really fit the quota of what's normal there, it's like frowned upon. People have something to say. So years before I started making music, like, I would get like, oh, you're trying to be like this or that or this or that. How come you're trying to be like X, Y, and Z? And just based on me not being like anybody else that was from my area, I had to deal with these critics, and it was just based on them not being familiar with something that was different to them. So again, it was just people wanted me to be quiet. They didn't really want me to speak up. And again, that led me more into like making the music, because that's where your voice is your most powerful tool. So it's just always been people talking, but there always will be people talking, positive and negative. But I just learned that whenever there are people saying negative things, like, you're usually doing a good thing. Because whenever there's somebody and they don't have any sort of negative critics, like, usually you don't know who they are. But every person that you can name of that has a name, you could always find either something on the internet or somebody that you know saying something negative or just being critical of what they're doing.
Facts. So, bro, what's some of your inspirations growing up? Like, who was you listening to?
Inspirations, there's a wide variety. Obviously, I have the more like alternative rock with people like Linkin Park, people like Green Day.
Yeah, Linkin Park hard, bro.
Yeah, Linkin Park was
Green
hard.
Day.
It just brought out like the emotion and like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Paramore. Paramore's really good too. We got like Deftones for the more like ethereal sound. Like I like the wavy type of music, like music that you can just kind of like chill to. And I also like the aggressive music, like the Linkin Park songs. So I like the mix between both. And I didn't really, like growing up, like I just had the radio. This was like a little bit before the internet. I was like coming up and I was like thinking like, oh, I like a part of this, I like a part of that. And I would always want like a specific song to be made in like this specific style and I guess you could say like vibe, but it never really existed. So now I feel like I'm picking up where I was as a kid with wanting this certain emotion in this certain song and making it an original idea for me. So I'd say like Green Day, I'd say Linkin Park, I'd say Deftones, and then like the hip hop, like I had elements of like hip hop, R&B, so like Lil Wayne, early Lil Wayne, like Chris Brown, like really anything that you hear on the radio, like, because that's all I really had. So I would just put on the radio and like I hear these certain songs. I wouldn't know the names of the songs, but I would love these songs. And again, like it would just be an escape for me. So I would say like anybody that I heard at any point, like growing up, has been an inspiration to me. And there's so many to name that I couldn't even sit here and list them all off right now.
For sure.
I have before, yeah. I wouldn't say that was like a big inspiration for me, but I do appreciate their music.
Did you I know you know a lot of people who listen to alternative rock or rock, they skate. Did you skate growing up?
I did have a little skating phase. I was more into like the BMX and like the bikes back in the day. I tried my hand at skateboarding. I really had the balance for it back then, to be honest. I busted my ass a couple times at the skate park.
What was the best skateboarding shoes, though, back in the day?
DCs.
Easy.
Yeah. Easies.
Easy.
I had the little Heelys, too. Like, I tried messing around with the Heelys.
I had Heelys.
Yeah, but
I had some Heelys, though.
Again, I wasn't good at that.
I stole Heelys.
I ain't gonna lie. I've been a Vans fan for a while.
Vans?
Yeah.
I don't mind the Vans. They just didn't fit my foot very well.
Yeah, I was finna say, I can't really see. Yeah, you need them fat boys. Yeah, you need them fat boys if you're a real skater, bro.
The DCs were nice. They felt cushioned. They were big. They were chunky.
Yeah. All my skater boys, they had the fat boys.
Oh, yeah. If you ever seen Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory, too, that'll put you on all the DCs.
He had so many colors. He had the midgets like Jordans.
Yeah, bro. Like, that man, he was inspirational at one point.
Oh, yeah.
That Fantasy Factory shit was crazy.
Yeah,
it was like all I watched as a kid growing up when I was in like middle school. I was like, oh, I want to be this dude.
Yeah.
Him and Viva La Bam. That was another
Viva
show.
La Bam.
I love that show as a kid. And like, again, they implemented like, especially Viva La Bam, like the rock type music. Like you got that intro song, King of Rock and Roll. And like, again, like those things like embedded in my brain. I didn't realize it at the time, but to this day, like, I still remember these songs. Most people might not. They might just remember the show, but not the song.
Yeah. But was you listening to hardcore punk, though? Like, that type of music?
I wouldn't say, like, the hardcore punk, but it would be more like the emotional, like, emotional type. It's like, again, it wasn't really anything specific. It was more just, like, I heard a song, and I would just, like, throw it on a playlist. I know a lot of people that have, like, favorite bands, like, favorite groups.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I never really had like a favorite artist of like any sort. It was always just like I pick a song from here and there. And I think that's where like the diversity came and like me liking all these different genres. So I wouldn't say it was like a specific genre or specific artist, but it was more just like picking from each bag and like creating my own playlist. Then when I was like around people, you get to play your little playlist of curated songs and you're almost like putting on a show for them just without having the music of your own. So I felt like I'm like being DJ and like these songs are mine, but they're not mine. They're just songs that I found like almost like little gems here and there.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. And bro, before we get off of this topic right here, did you watch Johnny Knoxville them and Jackass?
Oh, of course.
Yeah?
Big time.
Who was your favorite character on that, bro?
Again, I just
And what was your favorite Jackass movie?
I'd probably say the second one was my favorite.
Yeah.
It was like around the time I discovered Jackass, and I think that's why it was like my favorite. I think they were all pretty great. But my favorite character obviously was Bam. I just felt like I could relate to him as like an angsty teen who just wanted to rebel. And I don't know, I just thought he was like the man back then, and like he was really cool, and like he was always willing to do all like these crazy stunts and stuff. And like even me as a kid, like I would try and make little YouTube videos like trying to recreate it, and like obviously wasn't anything in comparison. But
that's why even when you see kind of people like mimicking them now, it still wasn't what that was. You feel me? That shit was a whole different vibe.
These dudes were the first to do it. It was revolutionary at the time, but it was such a simple idea. But some of the stuff that these dudes were doing was like, I couldn't imagine just like signing up to do these things.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they was on drugs too though. So
they was on high, but I feel like low key because like. We talking about them having a whole movie doing this shit. They probably had production through a lot of that shit, like
big time.
Yeah, but they was doing their own stunts and everything, bro. You couldn't fake the shit they was doing.
No, definitely not.
Not necessarily fake, but just like to make sure.
Even with the camera, like they kept it rolling, so it was like they never. Yeah, it wasn't no chops or nothing in that shit. Like you gotta go watch Jackass, all of them, bro.
Some of them are scripted.
Yeah, some of them are once they got the the big money and shit.
They had like a precursor to Jackass called CKY. It was through Bam and like his brother's band, and his band was called CKY. Also a really good band back in the day, early '90s. But it was like the precursor to Jackass, where they would do all these stunts for like their little neighborhood friends, and they put it on film, and they actually pitched it to Jeff Tremaine at MTV. And that's what led into making Jackass, because they had like Johnny Knoxville, they had Steve-O, and that's what like gave them the idea and brought them all together. But a lot of that stuff was scripted, and it was just all faked. But some of the stuff that you see, they put it together really well, and they sell you the idea like it's genuine.
That's what I mean. Like I believe that the earlier ones, they was definitely doing some crazy ass shit, but towards the end, like before they stopped and like before what's her name passed away.
Oh, Ryan Dunn,
yeah. They was doing that shit like a movie.
Like now,
like
bro.
The porta potty thing they did, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Come
crazy.
on, bro. How the fuck you just got cranes,
I don't know if you could fake that, but again, like to sign up for something like that, like
that shit wild.
Crazy. That's not made for everybody. Not everybody's built like that.
But like even to see him now, bro, like Steve-O, he clean and everything.
I know, Thank God for people like Steve-O getting clean. Yeah. Like, I'm an advocate for being clean. Like, I don't drink, I don't smoke or anything like that. Like, I'm like trying to be on my health wave as much as I possibly can. Yeah.
But how are you?
So how are people like that?
Yeah, I respect that for sure. But how are you around? All of the different like rock scenes and different genres, and they doing that. They doing the extra drugs and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, you could pick and choose, again, who you're around. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people in the scene who are away from a lot of that stuff. So I'm able to be around a lot of that stuff and just choose not to do it. But if people are happy doing that stuff, like, I'm happier for them. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. But I just learned just to say no if things are around, because I've done it before, and I know it just doesn't really lead to anywhere positive for me. So it just makes me less productive to be a part of those things. So I know if I'm trying to give like the best performance or the best piece of work that I'm creating in the studio, I can only do that being 100% sober and clear-headed.
For sure. So I got a question.
Yeah.
So how like compared to like hip hop and the rest of the music, genres out there like, pop and all the rest of those, do they beef in the rock culture?
I think there's always competition amongst any artist in any genre. And I think that just becomes, again, people trying to be the best of the best. But again, I try and stay away from
because you don't really see
that mindset. Yeah. It's a lot more tame. And I think because people expect it to be more like aggressive, and like a lot of the people who make that type of music in the rock scene, they're actually like the nicest guys ever, because they don't really have anything to prove. Like, they got this super aggressive rock music, but outside the song, outside the performance, like, he's the nicest guy you ever met. And I think it's because, like, they get this rap of, like, oh, they're so crazy and hard, but they're really not like that. It's just to give that energy-invoking performance through, like, the song. So I think it's, like, not as common as, like, other genres, but I feel like even in the other genres, it's just kind of hammed up to, like, bringing controversy to get people to listen to songs and clicks and all that. So like I don't even believe like half the beefs,
Yeah.
if you want to call them that go on in any
Cause
genre.
you know, like they don't like with other genres, bro. They don't really do the comparison. Who's the best or who's that? You know what I'm saying? Trying to pin people against each other and stuff like that. Like I just ain't really see it in too much. You know, like of the pop culture, or the rock culture.
The pop culture,
you know,
they really have
reggae
a lot of
and
respect for who came before them. Whereas
Yeah.
like, and the opposite,
Paying homage
it's kind
and
of the
stuff, you know?
opposite of
Oh
like,
yeah, I think it's just
hip-hop
like a
culture.
big hip hop thing, if anything. I
Yeah,
feel like
for
that's the only
sure.
genre where I really see it. But again,
It's
I
like-
feel like it's just a part of the character in hip hop to like,
every year you
Yeah.
got to do a new
Yeah.
ranking.
yeah.
It's like this
Yeah.
shit is crazy.
But they're all good, so I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like all the people are beefing like that. They're all great artists, so I don't
Very
understand
great.
why there's a competition at all.
For sure.
No, I've never heard about rock stars killing rock stars.
No,
No.
which is a great thing. I wouldn't want it any other way, thankfully.
Yeah,
Right?
most definitely.
We need less violence in the music scene, more creativity.
Yeah.
Definitely. And speaking on creativity, man, you got a new single out called Heart Eater.
Yeah, Heart Eater, it just dropped yesterday.
So talk to me about Heart Eater, bro. That's a hard title. I want to know the meaning behind the title as well.
So Heart Eater, essentially, like in the music industry, a lot of people, they kind of be who people want them to be. So this single invokes being somebody who's what everybody wants them to be, to essentially get people on their side, to get people to pay attention to them, because I feel like a lot of people, they stand out a little too much to the point where like people aren't going to give them a shot. So this is about playing into the character that the world outside wants you to be to get your point across. So that's kind of where I was coming with the idea of the song. I'm just being the person that people see me to be, that I want to be myself, but to an extent to then give them my music and give them a shot, because, again, not everybody's willing to give you a chance. But sometimes if you play the cards right and you put the right mask on in the right room, people will be willing to give your art a chance, give you a song.
For sure. And then just even like, you know, just a deeper question behind the song Heart Eater. Is that something like people call you?
I would say at times I have been called that, and that's where the word has kind of stuck with me over time. I wouldn't say it's a very common thing, but in the past I have definitely heard that before. I didn't really understand it at the time.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you know now, but.
Over time, yeah, it kind of stuck with me more. Just as like a young dude having fun, like
Yeah, for sure.
kind of get those words, and like they don't really process with you, but they stick because they're so unique.
Yeah, most definitely.
Where you get your style from, bro?
Man, it's just me, I guess. Like
You just
It's
like that all
comfortable, man.
like on the daily?
yeah.
7 days a
It's comfortable, man. People think this would be like super uncomfortable, but this is like some of the most comfortable clothes you could wear. Believe it or not.
When
Did
it's
you-
quality for sure.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
quality.
definitely.
And
Gotta-
you know,
gotta
I
you
could
trim.
fall asleep in this
Yeah.
right now.
Trim. So is it like when you dress like that, does it help you with everything on the inside that it comes out, that you show people, or did you go to college? This where you learned that at, or?
I feel like when you just dress good, people take you more serious.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to like making music, it's a product that you're essentially trying to sell to people. So again, when you dress nice, you feel nice, people take you serious. So it just kind of comes from that and being an adult, really.
Yeah.
Because I've had my crazy styles back in the day, but a part of me growing up is just, again, fitting into who I am. And I feel like who I am is just a man, and
Yeah.
this is what the man dressed like.
Because you coming like a businessman that's trying to, sell his artists. You get what I'm saying?
You look
But
like a
Exactly.
manager for real.
yeah.
Exactly.
You
This
look
could be
like
anybody,
the
though,
CEO or
that's
some
the thing.
shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So that, just for you to have that aura, bro, I know, you get a lot of like good looks. You know what I'm saying? People actually sit down and can, take you serious.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of people walk in the room, bro, and they can't fit in or be able to talk to a lot of different people, But
Yeah,
you
and
come-
why do you think the CEOs wear that type of attire? I feel like those are the dudes who are really making the money.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to be like the dude who's really making the money? Be the
Yeah.
most successful in what you do. So I want to invoke that energy through the way I look on the outside too, as much as my music and the inside.
For sure. So how long have you been wearing the suit every single day?
Probably like the last like year at this
the
point.
last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that you got to get used to over time. It feels, because again, you don't see people wearing suits all the time. But the more you do it, the more it just becomes like comfortable, natural thing. And again, there's been times I've fallen asleep in a suit before, and it's just something that it grows on you over time because you get used to people giving you compliments, feeling good. So it just kind of grew on me, and now it's something that I'm used to, and I feel like without it, like part of me would be missing.
I feel like you ready to sell me something though.
Yeah, I'm about to sell you this new single. It's called Heart Eater. It's on all
For
platforms
sure,
right now.
I feel like you ready to sell me a big old house or some shit. You feel me?
Man.
Yeah.
Easy way.
Yeah, easy way. And I'm talking about I done signed the papers. He done walked off, jumped in
Yeah.
this $200,000 car,
For sure.
slid.
When you make it big, you gonna fly your tailor out?
Oh, of course. Of course. I'm going to find some new ones, too.
Yeah, most
Come on.
I
definitely.
got to give a bunch new shine, too.
Most
Yeah.
So
definitely.
many tailors
so
out there.
Where do you shop at though? Cause you know they got all type of suit
You like he
places
been
now.
Men's Warehouse billboard.
Men warehouse. yeah.
Anywhere that will sell me a good suit, I'll shop there. I'm not
So
specific
no cheap
towards any
suits.
place.
No cheap suits.
No, anywhere and everywhere. If I like the way
Okay.
the suit looks and the quality's nice, I'll get that suit.
Okay, I was
I
gonna
can't
say
stick to just one
I want to
spot.
take you out here to Tampa to GQ Fashion.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go. That
they
sounds
got
nice.
$100 suits, bro. Real
Sounds
shit.
nice.
Real shit. They got some suits. In
I
there.
like that. I
I
like
used
that.
to get them suits from when I used to go to Sunday school and church and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go in there and get me a $20 suit right before church. Every time,
Hell
get me
yeah.
a shirt.
Sounds
It's
ideal.
just
Do you
a
have a
shirt.
shoe preference too? I see you got
Nah.
the loafers today. You know,
Anything
what
that's comfortable on the inside, people think it's all about the way the outside looks on the shoe, but it's really,
it's really the
the inside
inside,
that matters.
yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Once you older,
Get some
you'll
nice
learn
insoles.
the inside and
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
better.
Oh, yeah. So the inside needs to be comfortable, and then the outside is just kind of a bonus. So you can find a mix of the two. Like, that's perfect.
For sure.
That's perfect. But
I like a good month shot.
I like nice color shoes. Like, I'm just wearing the plain black ones today, but the nice, like, royal blue shoes would be nice. Some
Royal
deep
blue is
greens.
nice.
Yeah.
Royal blue is nice for sure.
You got a favorite color? that you
Favorite
wear?
color and shoe?
Nah, like favorite color,
favorite
color
suit.
scheme. I guess you
Oh,
would say.
color
favorite
scheme? I would say, like, the all blacks and whites. I feel like they just go good with everything. It's always very flattering, all black, all white. And then the hits are red. I'm in red today. But if I could have, like, the black, red, or the black, white with hits of red, that would be my ideal color scheme all the time with red belt, black suit, white shirt,
For sure.
Word.
ideally.
Most definitely. So,
Word,
bro,
yeah,
are
that John
you-
Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, looking like John Wick for sure.
Undercover.
So, bro, are you into politics?
I wouldn't say into politics. I'm aware of what's going on for the most part, but
Okay.
I keep myself focused more on the music. But
Yeah.
I understand exactly what's going on, especially nowadays, right now. But I don't vote or anything like that. I
Trump
keep
just got
myself
shot
out.
at and everything. So
I know, yeah, it's
Biden
crazy.
stepping down.
Shit
It's like
weird,
this is
bro.
all crazy. What you think we should be doing going forward though, if you could choose, like, had an opinion about it?
If I could do anything, in what regards?
I mean, just not in no
He's like,
regards,
make sure
honestly.
He answer this question.
Not
Like,
in
What
no
would
regards.
I do?
But
if
I'm just saying,
if I were
you-
Trump, or just if I had any sort of pull. in the
Yeah, if you
political-
had any
Yeah,
sort of
like,
pull, I
if
don't
you
want
was
you to be
like-
nobody.
Yeah,
I want you to be yourself.
I mean, if I could do anything, I don't know. See, that's the thing. I would try and be as far away from politics as humanly
Yeah.
possible. I feel like that's
Do you
just a
think we
deadly
need
game
a
to play.
president?
Would I ever want to be?
No, I'm
No,
saying, do you think we need
one?
a president?
We definitely do.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's like the perfect choice.
Nah.
So do
If
you
there was
vote or
any.
nah?
Nah, I don't vote. Never have, never will. I don't like being a part of that
But it's
at
like,
all.
bro, you from like that area where it's real up there. It
is.
Yeah, like they
Die
don't play
hard.
games. Yeah,
really
they die
is.
hard.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It just
They
set
ain't-
me
they ain't-
aside from everybody else
Yeah.
too. Because I feel like people love that stuff so much from where I was from that I tried my best to stray away from that. Because I was very counterculture in that like aspect of
Yes, for sure.
things. Not just with like music and like an underground music, but like politics, anything in the mainstream, like try and be on the other side.
Yeah, most
Again, I
definitely.
just feel like I'm being like everybody else. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have an opinion exactly like everybody else's and the exact same thing everybody else is thinking of. So I'm just kind of like doing me, if anything, and focus on what I got going on.
For sure.
But it's crazy out there for sure. I hope everybody's safe out there and there's no real violence going on opposed from what else is going on.
Yeah.
I don't advocate for the violence at all. I feel like it could be sorted out very civilly without people getting shot at or anything like that. I think that's super unnecessary.
For sure. So, bro, what's your favorite, hobby outside of music?
Hobby outside of music. I just like meeting new people, honestly. like going, traveling, like coming out here. This is the first time I've been out here in this area. It was like a fun experience, like that big bridge coming through here. Like just traveling and, again, meeting the people of different spots. Like that's like, if you want to consider that a hobby, like a hobby of mine, just like being outside the house. And again, you meet all these people, like you'll find people who have like music that, again, they might just show you being out with them. You find some new music that way. So it's like not inadvertently to find music, but again, you find new people in new areas. Like you might just find something that inspires you just based on you being out in the world, traveling. So it's just me being out in the world, traveling, going to different spots. And I wouldn't say it's like a specific hobby besides just music, but music is just like a huge part of my life that aside from going out and doing that is just music related things, writing music and listening to beats, anything like that, finding new music.
I meant to ask you earlier, do you play an instrument?
I did play an instrument when I was in middle school.
Flute?
I played the flute. I played the drums, and I played the trumpet. I was in a marching band for 2 years.
Okay,
I bounced between all the instruments because I wanted to play them all at once, but they're like, you got to pick one.
Yeah, you got to pick one.
I wanted to play a bunch of them. I'm like, why can't I play a bunch of them? These are all so cool.
You played the flute too?
Hey, yeah, I play. You gotta play the flute.
How you knew you played the flute?
Flute was cool,
because you have to play the flute in middle school.
Shit, I didn't play that.
No,
Yeah,
seriously.
it's like you gotta play that bit.
I didn't play
People
that shit.
are like,
For
why are
real?
you playing the flute? Like
Yeah,
you're
you
the
was
only
bugging.
dude trying to play the
Private
flute.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you.
I wasn't doing that shit. We had a choir when I was in.
Oh no, I couldn't have been in the
I
choir.
wish I
That's
was in
even
choir,
worse.
man.
That would have been
Seriously.
even worse for me.
Yeah, nah.
I couldn't even play the flute, and it was so simple.
Did people give you flack for playing the flute?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was. It was
me
a lot
too.
yeah.
They're like, oh,
But
it's
I
like
did know the do re mi.
the hot cross buns.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
I definitely used to play the flute, but I wasn't really good at it. I think I was better when we got to the drums and stuff like that, though.
Yeah,
I know
Yeah,
how
the
to
drums
do
are fun. You could take more aggression out by hitting them, but the flute's more like melodic.
Yeah, you got to be on beat.
But it just
on
sounds the
point.
best out of all the instruments I had to choose
If you
from.
can-
I'm just
If
glad
you
I ain't
can-
have no
This one.
trumpet.
Yeah,
Trumpet's hard. That's
it's
aggressive.
hard, but boy, it's aggressive. Boy, you got
It really is. Yeah,
that trumpet.
it's a loud instrument. I'll say that for sure.
For
You
sure.
got a lady, bro?
Do I have a lady? No,
Yeah.
not right now. I'm
What
focused
type
right
of female
now.
you like, bro?
I would just say one that respects herself. One that would respect me more than anything and what I got going on. I've dealt with a lot of women in the past who just don't understand what it's like to, because I basically run a business here, my own music. They don't know what it's like to have a career outside of like the normal 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, man.
So they don't understand it, and they kind of want you to just put it to the side to focus on them. So I've had to take some time in the last like year to put that to the side and again focus more on the music and wait for it to come to me. But I wouldn't say it's like a specific type. I do like to tend to sway more on like the traditional side, very feminine, very beautiful, of course. Who doesn't like that? But mostly just somebody who's going to respect themselves and respect me because it's going to be a reflection of who I am through my partner.
Most
And before,
definitely.
like, when I was younger, I would just date anybody who was fun, but fun doesn't usually lead to a good place. Like, I've learned that the hard way.
Oh boy, say anybody that was fun.
I'm
Yeah.
all the way.
Good
That-
time.
that
for
stuff-
sure.
You got like a race preference? Like not on some like, trying to be specific, but
He's saying the race.
If I had, like,
you know what
any
I'm saying?
sort of
You look
preference,
like you could be with anybody, bro. That's what I'm trying to figure out a
I
little
appreciate
bit, bro.
that, bro. If I had to choose, honestly, I go, like, Ukrainian, Russian
Yeah, I was
women.
gonna say, bro,
Those are my
going
favorite.
Going
overseas.
super
are
super
my
Bro, you
favorite,
going
yeah.
overseas.
I don't know what it is about
You just
them,
gotta
but
be able to
very
read,
beautiful.
like, bro, going overseas.
He going super Euro.
Seriously. I let it go over there. I haven't been yet, but I
Yeah.
let it go over there and just see what the culture's like. I have
Yeah.
respect for the way it is over there, and
Okay.
it's very interesting to me.
It's
And
definitely is.
yeah, I have a lot of girls from Russia and Ukraine that I connected
But
with on Instagram.
I ain't gonna lie,
and
like,
I really like
those-
their personality. They're very, very sweet people.
Those two you just named, like Ukraine and Russia, they would scare the shit out of me, bro.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, bro. Cause
Strict.
not by they by the book.
Stern,
They ain't
boy.
playing no games.
yeah, that's what it should be, though.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody that's gonna bend and fold.
Yeah,
You
for
want
sure.
someone that's gonna stick
But
to
you
it.
said
be
you wanted
serious.
to be feminine though.
They are very
They
feminine.
feminine.
over
They
there.
definitely feminine. They
Very
cook and
much
clean
so.
at the house. Yeah, they like
Yeah.
they're still on that like home like basically the mom like at home moms and shit.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
still on that type of time, like heavy.
They all seem, I know a lot of girls over there too that are friends with, again, some Russian, Ukrainian girls that I know from Instagram, and they have like families at age 20. They seem like great mothers, and if I wanted a partner, I want her to be a great mother, somebody who I could rely on to be there for me at the end of the day. So I just see a lot, not that I can't find that over here anywhere else, but I just feel like for me specifically, I've had my eye on the women of over there. And maybe it's not for me, but I'm trying to go find out for myself.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, bro, we getting down to the bottom of the podcast, but I got like 2 more questions for you.
Sure.
So, the social media, is like a big thing now, and you being a person of personality that has an outgoing personality, you can do a lot of things to, bring in revenue without being super, super duper, large. So, like, have you tapped into, doing different things where you could bring in revenue for yourself as, like, doing YouTube, doing TikTok and stuff like that?
Of course. I think being a content creator on social media, and I'm not talking about that content creator, but, on the Twitters, on the Facebooks, on the Instagrams, Snapchat, if you utilize all these platforms, you can make really good revenue doing all these things aside from the music. The music is just what the content relates around. But YouTube especially, like, you can make enough to do whatever you want just if you utilize all these platforms aside from the music, the streaming, the shows. And I feel like if you really just focus in on those specific things, because I see a lot of people, they try and have like their mind in 50 different places before they can establish one
thing. Yeah,
it never really works out that way. So I'm trying to really focus in on the social medias and getting those to the point where I can make a significant amount of revenue to invest that into other places, like the music, like the shows, making it all better, making the quality better, and being able to travel more especially. But I want to implement a bunch of different things once I have that established into something greater.
For sure. So what's next for you music-wise, bro?
More music, songs on songs on songs on songs. I'm going to keep on making songs till I can't make songs no more, which won't be for a long time.
Are we looking for a mixtape to be coming up or an album?
I'm just a singles guy, so I'm going to start a process with this song, Heart Eater, that, again, dropped yesterday, where I'm going to be dropping a song once a month. I'm going to be hitting the studio. I'm going to be getting a song done. I'm going to be ramping up the promotion and get a song out every month, on the month, and just continue on the process and just get more fluent the more that I do it. This song that I just released was my first studio quality song, so it was just kind of getting my feet wet in the process of it. And again, I haven't really been in Florida for that long, so I had to get accustomed to the area where the studios were, people to work with. So now that I have all that down pat, I'm going to start the cycle of getting in the studio, getting these songs out, marketing them properly. I'll be back in the studio next week, so the next song's already on the way.
Who you been recording with?
I'm with Raincat Studios. They're out in Jensen Beach.
Jensen Beach.
So it's other side of Florida. Yeah, it's a little ways out.
Yeah, like
they're really great people over there, though.
St. Lucie.
I highly recommend if you guys are in the area, check out Raincat Studios. Some great guys over there. Very welcoming people.
Most
easy to work with.
Any more shout-outs you want to give before we get off here, fam?
My management, Elevate Up. I couldn't do it without them. It's really what's driven me to become as successful and motivated as I am today. Seriously, like I couldn't give my thanks enough to my management. My family, of course. It's always their blessings that I get from back home that keep me going. It's their positivity, their love, their energy that helps me wake up every day and get out of bed. And everything I really do is for them, like back home, my family. I don't want to let anybody down, so every day I got to do it for them. I want to shout out my boy Brody. He is the dude who got me in the studio for the first time back home in Boston. And without him letting me hang out in the studio, I wouldn't have been able to start this musical journey that I had. Him just letting me mess around as just a naive dude who didn't really know much about music and giving me a shot. It meant the world to me, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him giving me that opportunity. So shout out to Brody.
Okay. Most definitely, bro. We definitely appreciate you for tapping in with We Are Florida podcast today. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Let them know they can follow you and everything before we get off here.
You can follow me. I'd say easiest contact would be on my Instagram at Rare Phantom, RarePhantom. you could contact me there in the DM or my Elevate management. They're always tagged in all my posts, so they're easy to find if you go through any of my posts. On all platforms, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Music, whatever you stream on, Amazon Music, Deezer, Rare Phantom. And you could check out my new song, Heart Eater, my new single on all platforms today. I took a lot of pride in making this song, a lot of effort, a lot of time. So I really appreciate if everybody gave me an honest opinion, whether you love it, whether you hate it. You could let me know on my Instagram. It doesn't always have to be positive. You could be honest and let me know what I could do better for my next single.
For sure, man. We definitely tapping in with Phantom, man. We are Florida Podcast. Keep striving, keep going up. You know what time it is. Let's go.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Definitely.